I call this one the lies. So I'm gonna state out some lies that I picked up out of the New Testament. Now, the first one, it says that Jesus in John 14:12 and Mark 16 verses 17 and 18 says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth in me, the works that I do, ye shall do also, and greater works of these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." This implies that Jesus' true followers should be able to routinely perform the following tricks. 1, to cast out devils. 2, speak in tongues. 3, take up serpents. 4, drink poisons without harm. And cure the sick by touching them, and many other of Jesus' works. Walking on water. Hey, everything that he did. Feed 5,000 with a couple of fish and a couple loaves of bread. Curiously, I have yet to see any Christian, any televangelist, I don't care who you is, to do any of these miracles on demand. I have never seen any. I don't go for that stuff on TV. No, it's just ain't no true followers of Jesus. Even his own disciples that walk with him didn't even do any of these things. Now check out John 14 verses 13 through 14. Jesus stated that whosoever shall ask in my name, I will do, that my Father may be glorified, and that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Oh, really? In reality, millions of people have made millions of requests in Jesus' name and failed to receive satisfaction. This promise or prophecy has failed completely. Then Paul says that Christianity lives or dies, or Messianic Judaism, or whatever you call it. If it has anything to do with if your faith has anything to do with the New Testament, it all lives or die on the resurrection of Jesus, or whatever you want to call him, from the grave. Now check this out. 1 Corinthians, that he cited 1 Corinthians 14 through verse 17. Yet Jesus said in Matthew 12 verse 40 that he would be buried 3 days and 3 nights, as Jonah was in the belly of the whale 3 days and 3 nights. Now that's interesting, because Friday afternoon to early Sunday morning is only 1.5 days. Either somebody can't count, or y'all want somebody to believe the bullshit that you want to pull over on the world, but you ain't pulling that jive type stuff up over on me today. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it, and I will expose you. Whoever you call yourself, rabbis or priests, pastors, don't have me start coming into your churches and expose you now. I sure will. And I want you to give a clear answer to the people. Why are you deceiving them? And either you can't count, or something is going on here. So if it all rests on the resurrection, that he did it 3 days and 3 nights, it ain't 3 days and 3 nights. It's only a day and a half. So obviously it must be all false. So he could not have been the Messiah by his own words and by Paul's own admission. Now, Jesus' prophecy in John 13:38, the cock shall not crow till thou, meaning Peter, has denied me 3 times. Obviously it's false, because if you look at Mark 14 verses 66 through 68, it shows that the cock crowed after the first denial, not the third. Now look at Mark 10:19. Jesus said, "Thou knowest the commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not defraud. Honor thy mother and thy father." Jesus need to reread the 10 Commandments, but he's supposed to be the Son of God. He's supposed to have known this stuff. There is no Old Testament commandment about defrauding. What's wrong with him? The only relevant statement about defrauding is in Leviticus 13. Which says, "Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor." This isn't an Old Testament law, all right, but it's not listed with the 10 commandments as he cited. Surely, if Jesus was God incarnate or the Son of God, wouldn't he have known the commandments? Now, John 3 verse 13, no man hath ascended up into heaven, but he that came out, he that came down from heaven, but he that, this is confusing. Okay, I'm gonna quote him now. This is stupid. And no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, but he that came down from heaven, he, the Son of Man, which is in heaven. Interesting. If Jesus is in heaven, if he's the Son of Man, how can he be down on earth speaking? Moreover, according to 2 Kings verses 2, chapter 2 verses 11, it says Elijah ascended up into a whirlwind into heaven. Now Jesus was not only the person to ascend up into heaven according to his own according to the Old Testament, nor was he the first. Elijah preceded him, and apparently Enoch also did too, according to Genesis 5:24. So he needed to get his scriptures right before he started teaching people. Now look in Luke 23:43. Jesus said to the thief on the cross, "Today thou shalt be with me in paradise." This is obviously, this have to be false too, for Jesus was supposedly to lay in the tomb for 3 days after his crucifixion. Jesus said, "Ye have heard as has been said, and thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy," according to Matthew 5:43. Now this statement does not even exist in the Old Testament either. In fact, Proverbs 24:17 says, "Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thy heart be glad when he stumbleth." I'd rather go with the Old Testament. I'm not going with Jesus at all. This dude is crazy. Jesus reportedly said that the law and the prophets were until John. Since that time, the kingdom of God is preached, and every man presses into it. Now, that was cited at Luke 16:16. Certainly, every man has not pressed into the kingdom of God, unless you mean that Satan is God. If you're looking at the source and look up God, you understand what I mean. Almost anything can be God. Now, Satan rules this world, and according to Revelation, early Revelation, first and second chapter, Jesus is described as the bright and morning star, but yet in Isaiah 14, Lucifer is described as the son of the morning, the bright morning star. Son of the morning sound like the same star to me. So could Jesus and Lucifer be the same person? It very well could be. Because certainly not every man has pressed into the kingdom of Yahweh. Maybe the kingdom of Satan, sure. And look at Queen Elizabeth and the rest of them, and then Bush and all these other people claiming to be Christians, and looking how they destroy the world today. So Jesus is right. They are pressed into the kingdom of God if he's the God, and they all claiming to be Christians. I guess so. Wow. Check this out. Or he said, have you not read in the law how on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Matthew wrote this in chapter 12 verse 5. Now nowhere, anywhere in the Old Testament does it state that priests in the temple profaned the Sabbath and were considered blameless. What the hell is he reading this stuff from? What is he getting this from? Is he getting it from the Mishnah or the Talmud? If that was in his day and time, well, where is he getting this from? It's surely not in the law, the Torah of Moses. No. Now it says, "You have never read out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou has perfected praise." Now Matthew cited this in 21:16. Clearly, Jesus is quoting Psalm 8 verse 2, which says, "Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast ordained strength because of thy enemies." perfect praise has little to do with ordaining strength because of thy enemies. An obvious misquotation. And lastly, he says, but I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and you have, and they have done unto him what they list, as it is written of him. And Mark 9:13. There was no prophecies in the Old Testament of things that were to happen to Elijah. This man is obviously crazy.